Hi there, welcome back everybody. Welcome back into my madness, which I mentioned in my previous video that had a major setback as far as discovering major moisture after a storm, and the MOLD word, what a nightmare. It's been a week now, a little bit over a week. It's being worked on slowly but surely. The initial process of discovering things and trying to get somebody out of here, the first day or so, people coming out and just giving me quotes and estimates that are in the teens. It was very stressful for me. I did allow a day or two just to feel sorry for myself and have a pity party, but after that I pulled my pants up, brushed myself off, and get into the action. And some of the things that I'm dealing with, I just want to go over how I deal with major stress and setbacks in life. So stay with me and I'll give you a little bit more information in detail about my life at the moment. But first, chocolate. Dark chocolate with nuts. So there was a pipe here that was under the slab, and it was a slow leak, and then he just saturated all the walls, so all that was ripped out and will be replaced. These are bay windows. They are notorious for leaks and improper construction. So that's what's going on right now. I found my microphone, so it's glad it was covered under a piece of paper. I did sell one thing this week. Actually, this month I sold two things. I did very poorly on eBay this month, but however, I think I made like $140. That will go towards my savings for the DJI combo pack. Like I said, I have 340, so that will bring me up to maybe 460, 480. Got another 500 to go. But as soon as things are settled down, I'm going to go ahead and amp up my eBay so I can get closer to my goal. So I did sell a raincoat, so I'm going to ship it out today and just print the label. I have everything I need. I have a printer right here. My eBay store, I'm just going to automatically print the label, put it on here and take it to the post office and then get paid at the end of the month. All right, package is sent out, and it is a hot blazing day here in Virginia Beach. We're looking at 89 degrees at the moment. I've already put my pumpkins out and I decorated my front door with a wreath, and it is blazing hot. I had to get my summer stuff out. So I'm going to make a quick stop from the post office here to my thrift store just to quickly dash around. I don't need anything. I probably won't buy anything. Got so much stuff to get rid of. And now that my house is in disarray, it just feels like I am overwhelmed and I'm closing in with things. So one of the things that I'm going to take a look at is really decluttering. I think the more things that you own, the more it owns you, correct? I think that's a saying. I want to look at the thrift stores real quick.
chores are out the way. I did come home early to meet the company that are monitoring the drying of the wall. They were due here at 2 o'clock. In the meantime, I checked my eBay and I did sell one item, so I shipped that, packaged and shipped that. And I like my neighborhood because everything's closed, so when I stop off at the post office, I can make a quick dash to the thrift store, as you saw. Today, I would like to kind of ponder on my thoughts, just unscripted, about how sometimes life just throws you curveballs. So in my case, we've had a storm on the week of the 13th of September. It was a very strong storm and the rains was, whipping sideways, one of those things that were just hitting the windows, the walls, and so on. I had a vacuum cleaner going, one of those evac robots, and it got wedged underneath the couch. Now my couch is up against the window, but it is divided by a table where I put my lamp on it. So I went to go ahead and try to unwedge the vacuum cleaner, one of those robot vacuum cleaners, and I couldn't get to it, so I pulled the couch away and I pulled the table away, and I noticed sponged up baseboards. Stepped on it and it was like, what is going on? It was kind of squishy. Some of it was like bubbled up and it was raised. So just with my finger, I tried to see what's going on. It was just peeling off the baseboards and that, so I pulled it further off and it just came off like paper mache. So further up, I saw the vinyl floor that I have, those baseboards, they were coming up as well, just peeling, crumbling like wet paper. So by this time I knew I've had a problem, so I put some gloves on and I just dug a little bit further, and I discovered a hole underneath the wall into the foundation, and mud and soggy mud and a little bit of the roots from the outside bushes came into it. So by this time I knew, I'm not registering what is happening. So I called my neighbor, we were looking at it, and the baseboard came apart, and then the white one, the higher one came. I pulled that off, and along the rest of the wall came off. And then I discovered further pulling up the wall, it was saturated, moist with the mold. And I knew then that, right, it's time to stop. So I stopped everything, went and washed my hands, covered it up. I went to the store and got 2 shower curtains and I taped it all up. And then got onto Google and I just was going down, thinking it was construction companies or reconstruction, restoration, whatever. I did manage to get 3 companies to come out. This is fast forward. All 3 of them was saying that it's the windows. The windows were leaking. Now the windows were installed 3 years ago. So I pulled out my warranty in the package that I got for the windows and I called the company out. By this time, I was getting, first quote that I got was $12,000 to $14,000 to repair everything. That's to pull down the walls and restore the whole bay window. Second quote was $9,000, but this time it affected the flooring as well. The quote for flooring and the restoration was $12,000 to $14,000. They don't know for sure until they get in there. The window company came out and he was looking and he got on the ladder. He said, it's not the windows, it's not. So he showed me where the water was coming in. So this time all along, I was distraught. I was devastated. I'm thinking $15,000. How is that going to be feasible for me? 2 months prior to retirement, my budget is pretty much set. I have my fixed income, what I'm going to be getting when I retire. I have some savings for travels that I want to do, and then I had an emergency fund, which I decided to use my emergency fund to pay off my car. So I was very proud of myself. So I'm thinking, all right, I paid off my car, hopefully nothing will happen. And in one of my videos, it says for the first time, I don't have any debt in my life. It was such a good feeling. it lasted short, of course. And I remember when I was paying the car off, it's like, okay, this is a good chunk. I don't have a car payment anymore. I hope I don't have any emergencies now. So desperate, thinking I want to, there goes 12 to 15, if not even more, $1,000. So, and all along I was, chatting with some people that had similar things, and they said, no, insurance is not going to pick this up. So I decided just to go ahead and roll the dice and clench my teeth, and I called my insurance company, and they had an adjuster come out. That was a Friday, and he said he took a lot of pictures and he measured stuff, and he said he doesn't think it will cover it, but he will try and see if there are any new policies, because on Friday, and I had all weekend just to stress and worry because I'm a worrywart. And so he was supposed to give me an answer on Monday. So Monday, it was one of those days where everybody had a day off, but if you wanted to come into work, you're welcome to do it and just add the hours to your credit so you can take another day off another time. So I went into work because I had to change. I had to have a change. I had to get my mind off something. So I went into work, and the first thing that I got a call was 9 o'clock in the morning from the insurance adjuster. And I said, okay, let me hear it, drum roll. I knew I was going to be denied, but guess what? He said they will cover it. I could not believe, my heart was thumping. I couldn't believe my luck, but I prayed about it. I prayed and I prayed all weekend long, and my prayers came true. So I'm not out of the woods 100%. There are some things that I had to cover. So, and I'll tell you about that in just a moment. So, and they chose that company, and that company came out to do the cleanup. So as they're cleaning up, I hear, hey, you need to call the plumber. I said, what? What's going on? Because we thought originally that the spigot outside was leaking, but there was no indication of leaking. There was no leak anywhere. So when they dug into that hole that ate into the concrete, there was the leaking. Every time they sucked out the water where the mud was, it refilled. So I went and turned the water off from the main valve, and when they sucked it out, it wasn't refilling. So it was a slow leak underneath the foundation slab. Not even a burst or anything, just a drop by drop by drop. So that just changes everything. So I had to call my insurance company, and he agreed that changes everything. So I thought they're gonna deny it, but lucky enough they will cover that damage. So I've been very blessed in that. I think I'm not going to be responsible for what I thought 15,000, but I did pay the plumber to fix, emergency fix, cost me 1,400. Anyway, needless to say, that was very stressful, but that is life. Life happens, right? So it is a crisis, but it's not a crisis that's life-threatening. There are many other worse cases that can happen to you. So this is a small life crisis. Now, as a single person with no second income and no man to say, hey, honey, don't worry, I got you. But not that I feel sorry for myself. I'm okay with that. But it would be nice. You have to handle everything yourself, correct? So single and solo, serendipity solo is my channel. So go ahead and cry for one day, I said to myself. So go ahead and feel sorry for yourself. Have yourself a pity party, lay on the couch, catch up with all you YouTubers and see what everybody else is doing. See people that have similar situations that they came over, how they came through it. And so I allowed myself one day, and then the next day I went for a walk. I went for a power walk. I actually put my gym clothes on, power walk, and I walked for 1 hour. It was so refreshing and energetic. It cleaned my mind. And then I got to work and estimates, quotes, insurance dealing and everything like that. At the same time going to work and taking time off to meet up with people, to set up the cleaning process. And as you saw, there is fans running on downstairs and so on. It is noisy, but I am upstairs, the doors are closed, everything is closed. And so yes, allow myself one day. That's the first thing I did. Just go ahead and, you know, feel sorry for yourself. Did that. And that's a process you had to go through. You can't deny it. Just go through it, get it all done with, and then get ready to do the next thing. All right, the second thing, I made some little notes here. Embrace what happened. So what happened? Okay, I had a disaster, major damage. It's a bay window. Bay windows are notorious, and I googled it. They're notorious for problems. So note to oneself, if you ever have a bay window, mine didn't even have any water sealant protection. It didn't have any insulation. It was pretty shoddy job. The company that built it no longer exists. The company dissolved, and there were actually laws before 2021, don't quote me on that you did not have to insulate bay windows. But since then, the laws have become for inspectors to make sure that the windows were insulated. Okay, so I embraced what happened, realized what the damage was, how it happened, why it happened, plan of action. All right, number 2, plan of action. Stop further damage. Be careful of your health. With mold, I immediately stopped. I had gloves on. Seal off the area. Pull away your furniture if you have to cover things. I pretty much cleaned everything around there. I stopped the aircon because with the mold in the air, I did not want it to spread to my other rooms throughout the HVAC system. And as soon as we're done here, I'm definitely cleaning the filters. I might even have a professional company to come out and just clean out my duct. The next thing I allowed myself is to adjust to the chaos. I like my house nice and clean and tidy. Right now, it is not. Adjust to the chaos, let it happen, accept it, embrace it, let it. But I'm not going to be talking about it constantly. You know, I've got a job to do, focus on my work, do your best, like I mentioned in my other videos. Just because you're retiring at the very end, believe me, it's very tempted just to say, I don't care anymore. Do that. I was so close. I was so close, but I can't do that. I might do it on my last day. But anyway, no, I can't do that. If you're in patient care, you got to see people as people. They're not numbers. They're not social security numbers. Otherwise, if you're working with numbers, then go work for the taxation department. That was always my belief. Like, I would like to treat people the way I would like my family members to be treated. So always remember that. So I do have a main support system, and that is my sister. I have talked her ear off, and you know, like sisters, we discuss things until there is nothing more to discuss, and then we still discuss the same thing but every different angle. So she's been my tremendous support in all this, and she's had her share of some renovations and that. She's really good at that. I'm actually trying to get her to come out here and help me with a few other things. So we'll see how that goes. And the final thing is make financial adjustments. So I had all these wonderful, you know, ideas. When I retire, I want to go to the Venice Carnival. I want to travel a little bit. I want to stay at an Airbnb. I want to do some slow travel. I believe I still will do that. But right now, seeing that my whole house is renovated, or is being renovated, I should say restored, I think I'm just gonna, like, for example, upgrade a few things. Like the floor will be replaced, but it will be at a reduced depreciation value. So we'll probably add a little bit here and there to get a better, I was thinking of like a new luxury vinyl plank where there is waterproof flooring and also not very noisy. So I'm doing research in that. Do you guys have any good ideas? Have you had to deal with this? What floor did you go with? Like because the one that I have, so of this, but now that I need to have the floor ripped out, I want to pick something that will be, you know, it's kind of sad to say, but I want something for the rest of my life. I don't want to deal with that again. I plan on staying in this area as my base, but now that I'm getting things redone, I want it done properly and in good quality that will take me for the rest of my life. So I would love to hear some of your ideas. So there'll be floor replacement painting, and I do want to replace the windows upstairs, so I'm looking at a couple of $1,000s there. Now that we're doing it, I think I'm just going to set aside my travel money, all my plans and that, and just throw it up in the air, see how it turns out. So my finances have focused from one thing to another, and I want it done properly, and it will cost me out of my own pockets and savings. So that's it, guys. That's what happened. It's a big deal. It's a big stressor, and nobody wants to live in a construction zone. The bay windows are torn out right now. They're going to put some plastic around it. We have some storm coming through here tomorrow through Virginia Beach, and I don't want any more moisture coming in, especially now that things are exposed. So that will be sealed off from tomorrow. They're coming to do one more inspection, and we talked about it. So there will be some protection, and hopefully no more moisture will get in. The next step is to organize a restoration team. The company that's taking care of me now is wonderful. I'm going to continue on with them because they are working well with my insurance company. So they told me today somebody will call me back, and it might be a few weeks before they can even start. I'm hoping that is not the case. I don't know about that. So hopefully, let's hope it's not a few weeks before we start restoration. So this is where I am at the moment. It is part of my life, part of my retirement process that I have to deal with, but it was gonna happen sooner or later. So be kind to yourself if this is happening to you as well. It will be okay. We'll survive. Be kind to the universe. Do kind random acts. It always works. I've proven this over and over again. When I do a random act of kindness, it comes to me. It comes to me even more, and I love it. I love the way the universe works. If you see, for example, it was totally unexpected. I was at a store the other day, and this is not bragging, but this is just, it was a spontaneous thing. I saw an elderly lady, sweet little, you know, she bought some mashed potatoes, but they were those in a packet, the dry flakes, and then some milk. This is from the dollar store. Some milk, and then some sausages in a jar in water, some buns, and some sweets. The whole thing came to $8. And patiently, you know, we both, the cashier and myself, and I'm actually admiring her. She pulled out her little purse, counting her money, and how much? And the cashier says $8.36. So she goes again, and she pulls out a 5. She goes, how much? And I'm ready to, you know, with my purchase, I just bought one thing and I have my credit card out. So she goes back, you know, the cashier says $8. So she goes back, she gets, and you know what? My card was in my hand. It was just a split second I tapped my card on that machine and it went beeped. And I just like, it's like, I almost cried. And she turned around and she said, what? The cashier said, she paid for it. And she goes, what? She was all confused, and she looked at me with her glasses because I was taller than her and she was short. She goes, you paid for it? I said, yeah, don't worry about it. She goes, I want bless you. So it just, I wanted to bawl my eyes out because it reminded me of my granny. And I did it out of the kindness of my heart, and I'm going to do that more often because it made me feel wonderful. It really did. So do that. do that. I mean, $8. I'm gonna spend $8 for I don't even know what, you know. I'm gonna do that more often because I loved it, and it made her day and it made my day, and we just need kindness in this world, do we not? So let's all do it. And I'm gonna be looking out and just see without being too intrusive or invasive, just reach out and help somebody. And I did get a blessing, and it just comes back to you threefold. So let's spread kindness, guys. But that's where I am. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything from my online retirement application with OPM. I don't expect to hear anything till like maybe December. That's a limbo. I mean, I check every day. It's still the same status. The green light is on the first step. I can wait. I just want to hear a little bit more about, I guess I want a human being to answer me and say, yeah, we got your application, we're working on it. But right now, it's just shaky, trust the process kind of thing. I'm 99.99% sure that I will continue with my retirement process, although I wasn't sure about that last week with the date where things were going, because if I was going to be out by $16,000 I might have just stayed on for another year to replenish that and make up for it. So that's where I stand. If anything changes, I will keep you informed. Thank you for spending time with me and hearing my drama. That's just the main thing I wanted to update you on, and my next future videos will be more on a positive note. But what can we get out of this that's positive? I'll have new floors, I guess, and this won't happen again because they sealed off that pipe, and we'll get new installation and do proper things, and windows are good, and I'm going to get the window company to just come out and just make sure everything's tight and sealed for the winter coming. So I'm going to take a positive that out of this, what happened, and plus I'm learning there's a learning process, you know. I'm learning about how things are built, structure, companies, the construction terminology. It's all good. I like learning it, and also it taught me to take care of my things extra. You know, I went around and just cleaned out every single window around the sill. If there's anything like a moldy in that, I sprayed it down with hydrogen peroxide and some vinegar, cleaned it all out. I'm going to double check that all the seals are good, prevent future leaks, monitor that. That outside spigot, even though it's filled, I will shut it off for the winter time, because I don't want the cold temperatures to have any effect on it. The way they told me is to shut it off and drain the water and then insulate it. So I will do that for that outside spigot that's connected to the bay window outside. All right, enough of ranting. Hope you guys are all doing well. I wish you all good from the universe, from me to you. No dramas, no ceilings falling down. One of my favorite YouTubers that I watch, his ceiling fell down. So he's dealing with that. He had a huge hole just collapse on him, but he has an older English home, I believe. He's restoring it or whatever. So I wish him all the best. And if you're dealing with that, just know you're not alone. Things will be good, and it will all be behind us soon. Until next video, thank you for watching me and coming. If you come this far, thank you again. Have a great day, and talk to you soon. Bye.